Okay, well, today's Tuesday. Thought I'd put a video up. It's been a while. Had a few days where I didn't feel that great. Kind of recovered yesterday. Still a little sore today. And hopefully I can make sense. I haven't really done that much out there, so I'm way behind on things that are going on. It looked like I seen somewhere in the chat where Michelle and John were having to appear before court today up in Gainesville. I don't know if that's true or not. It looked like, I think it was John, said that Michelle and their daughter both have been sick, and I guess it's it's a long ways for them to drive, when, especially with a child that's been sick. She's got a metabolic disease problem, and it can be, honestly, can be life-threatening under certain conditions. I don't know why it couldn't have been done via video of some kind, Skype or whatever. I think it's just the middle of asking for some extensions, and one of them for nothing more than a paper for dismissal. But man, it's an awful lot to ask in a federal court when people have to travel across country or at least cross the state. That's a pretty good distance for them. And it's not like these people have all the money in the world, because they have very little. And I know a lot of you think that they're getting cash out of the GoFundMe that were started at different times, but that cash was not handed out to Michelle and John. I know a lot of people don't believe me, and that's fine if you don't. Sometimes I wonder, with all the hate I've seen lately, and it seems to be getting worse, not better, and maybe we're all becoming part of that same unity of whether it's name calling or going after each other for even little slight of the tongue mistakes or names, whatever it is. But it's just too much heat for people to endure on a long time. We're talking a year, and you know how that goes. That's a long time to go through that. Oh. People get bad so quickly over such small things sometimes. And being quick-triggered causes major problems in the thinking process. And Lord knows we don't need more enemies than we already have. It seems like half the country's mad at the other half. And I think a lot of the people like myself started out, they really were protecting not only the First Amendment, but rights in general. And at this point, we're all getting so used to throwing mud at each other, we forgot what our point was. And it was, we wanted to help out a family, Michelle and John and little Harley. And it kind of bothered me today that these people are having to appear before a judge not feeling well, and a child that has a metabolic problem is sick. And they're going to be traveling quite a bit away from their prime care doctor. And in doing that, puts things more in danger. And the heck of it is, it's one of them things, damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you don't show up in front of court, you're in contempt and you can automatically go to jail. And because it's in Florida, they could have the Levy County pick them up there at home and throw them in jail. And then they'll lose the child to protective services because there's nobody to care for the child at the time. And regaining a child back is very hard. And I can't help but think that maybe with all these court things that are going on, maybe that was the point of dragging them back through all this mud. And most of you that are following Mr. Hales, I'd say well over 90% are going to say that she brought it on herself, and yet she's not doing the stalking. It's actually the reverse from my standpoint. From my opinion, it looks to me more like they're being stalked, and by more than one person at this point. And they're scared when they go down the road, and when they show up for court or for any reason, they don't have the money to provide protective services. And I don't know if other people are trying to protect them a little bit by going and accompany them to be their friends in court, where they can be a shoulder, if you will. I don't live close enough there, and travel for me is over. I'm too old. I don't have that ability to travel those distances anymore. Matter of fact, my longest trip, and it's rare, would be 75 miles in any one direction. Other than that, I haven't went very far, period. And the only reason I go that far is because I go to specialist doctors. And part of the problems that someone like me has is obviously is age. So there's nothing I can do about my problems other than hope that the doctors can keep me going as long as I want to go. But I worry about Michelle and John and that child being put in this situation. And is it needlessly? And the other problem I worry about, I noticed in the chats lately, it's very easy for a chat to get upset with each other within the chat, even though they may have a common goal. They throw barbs out at each other, not realizing what it can cause. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, before you say something, think through it a little bit if you would, or just don't say anything. There's a lot of times we don't have to make a remark. We can bite our tongue and save it. In the past few days, this is my fourth video that I've tried to complete. 3 of them, I just went ahead and removed them. They just weren't good enough to put out there to make any good sense at all. When I don't feel good, I have the tendency to drone more than normal, and that's not good, that's for sure. I'm still not back 100%, and I don't know when when I will, but I'm going to do my best. My prayers and wishes are that all of you would act and make your decisions morally, and maybe forgive somebody that you want to chomp on a little bit. Don't go out there and utilize name calling as a way to get even or things like that. Now, as far as the big thing is, I haven't changed my direction on trying to make sure that John and Michelle and little Harley are helped out legally, and try to get them into that home as quickly as possible. Finish things up so that they can have a life at home. But now I'm worried about they are in so many courts right now. Are they going to be able to meet those obligations? Because if they miss them, they're going to go to jail for contempt. And if they're not allowed to, be able to do it through Skype or whatever it is, they're in trouble. Because they can't control what may happen to that little child during these run-ins with court. And a lot of people out there are heartless, and they say, well, that's tough. They should give the child up, let child services take care of it. And that would tear their hearts up. It would tear them up, and eventually maybe even cost them their lives. It is terrible to think that way, and a good Christian doesn't. And I've had so many on here say that I'm the one that's not acting Christian, and I'm a liar and all these things I talk about. But I'm not a liar, and I am a Christian, at least in my beliefs. That not everybody is going to walk the righteous path of Christ. And many of you out there that I've looked at have said some things that I have a hard time believing that you ever knew Christ, if you do even today. Like I say, today I'm down a little bit, mainly because I can't believe that this family was made to appear before a judge with the sickness that surrounds Michelle and Harley. And maybe they don't, well, law doesn't have to understand our personal problems. They don't. If they say you're going to have to appear, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Judge's discretion could help them out of it, but for some reason, the scales of justice are not working too well right now. And that's my opinion, obviously. And, I'll have to appear before that very same judge. Or maybe, I don't know. Like I say, I can't travel. And if I did, it would have to be, I'd probably have to have some areas to rest on the way. And I don't know what kind of care I would be required. I get along very well short distances. And my wife and I have been able to help each other. When one's down, the other one's up, and back and forth. Well, I'm going to cut this short today. Please take my advice. Think before you say something in the chats. It's not fair to cause dissent within a chat. We still should have a goal, and that is to help a family out. And if not that family, at least a family somewhere. And we can't do it by becoming what we're fighting against. And slowly but surely, I can see it within each channel and within the chat sessions. We are very well becoming what we are fighting against. That won't solve the problem. And I know there are times where we have to fight fire with fire. But if we can prevent some of those fires, let's do that as well. We'll fight the fires we have to, and we'll do the best we can with what we've got. But let's prevent them as well as we can. No name calling, no insinuations. We don't need that. I believe all of you started out with a good heart, and I think it's still there. We may have to wake it up. I still believe very much in the channel out there that's coordinated this whole effort for John and Michelle. I'm talking about Lisa with 2 Leads to Pod. And the people that are within that channel that have worked so hard to keep it organized. And I can see that sometimes during the course of what they're putting on in their chats, things get stirred up a little bit. And what's happening is people are having to choose between when 2 friends get into it, and it causes a fraction within the group, and then you have groups that go in different directions, and then it becomes a matter of no forgiveness. And if that's what's in your heart, we can't attain goals with those kind of beliefs or attitudes. It just won't happen. Let's kind of join hands again, and if you will, pray tonight. Pray right now if you have to change your heart. I'm as bad as anybody out there, because as I get mixed up in these fights, and it's very easy to start using names that you shouldn't use to call each other. It's very easy to point out shortcomings when we tolerate all kinds of shortcomings in everybody else, but we can't in our friends that we have to deal with on a daily basis, and it's just not fair to those friends. So what I'm asking you to do is be forgiveness of each other as well. That doesn't mean you have to stop the protection of a family out there, or the helping of a. I feel bad if John and Michelle was traveling today. My understanding was they had to appear. They didn't have a choice. It breaks my heart that they have to take a child that doesn't feel too well and a mother that is feeling bad as well and appear before a federal judge, and that they don't have, at this point, I don't know if they have a lawyer to even appear with them. And like else I said, I don't know if they have a friend that is trying to be a shoulder for them. I know they have friends, but sometimes friends can't be with you during the week. They have to work. There's a lot of not knowing out there. And like I say, I've been kind of out of it this week. I haven't been able to do what I usually do, and that's being nosy. So fill me in if you want. I've got plenty of comments down there. Subscribe if you will. If you have a better way of dealing with some of these things and some of the obstacles we've got in front of us, let me know, and let me work on it. I'm just doing my best too. I've gotten a lot of people come on here and try to tear me up. Even, you know, even when I do nothing but put up a song, I'm still fighting remarks that are on other channels coming to this channel with a song on it. The song is supposed to be a break in activities for a while. That's all. And there's nothing derogatory and negative in it when I put a song up there to sing. And it's just me. I'm not trying to bring any hurt down on people. If I could stop people from being bullies, I'll do my very best to stop that portion. I don't think that that's a good thing at all. It's not a good trait, and people shouldn't subscribe to that type of treatment in any way. So if you'll please pray for John and Michelle and little Harley, that they can get along, and that if they need a friend or a shoulder, please provide it for them. It would be a better place if we all could be a friend of a friend. And that's all I'm asking for. And please, make tolerance one of your priorities. If we don't have tolerance with each other, we'll never have a real friend or a true friend. I guess that's all I've got. As John would say, ta-ta.